Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. I am here on Sunday, October 12th, to record the astrology for today through this coming Saturday, October 18th. And really quickly, not a lot going on Sunday per se, but this week is a big week. And some of the themes that are coming through are the retrogradation. It has not only begun, but it's really getting palpable this week. And the retrogradation of what? Remember all those outer planets that are changing signs and causing this big, beautiful upheaval and transformation in the world as we know it. Well, a lot of them, Pluto's the only one that's actually permanently in Aquarius. So we have especially Uranus and Neptune, but also Jupiter and Saturn. All, they've gone forward, but now into advance into these new signs, but now they're also going to go back. So what happens when this happens? And in this fall, this winter, this end of 2025, it's not going to be until a little bit into the latter part of the early 2026 that we're going to really start to feel again this aha newness. So we got a taste of the future, of the things that we really, it's almost like we were activated and pulsed and touched on to really get the sense of the things that we value, the things that we hold to be true, the things that we do and don't want in our world. And so for everything we don't want, that was also a gift in the sense that it really helped us to hone in on what it is that we do want. And so that was part of what we've been moving through. And we're still going to be a little bit in that phase, but it's shifting now. And it's the we're being invited to really turn inward, to look inward, to see where we've already been and what we already know about these topics, and also to revise and rewrite. And I'll get a little bit more deeply into that as we move through this week. But the big thing that's happening next week that we're going to be preparing for energetically this week is Neptune is going to go back into Pisces right after the new moon next week on the 22nd. And that's a big deal. So Neptune is still at 0 degrees of Aries, and I'll get to that in a second. But let's move to some of the aspects that are happening this week. On Monday the 13th, we have Venus. Well, Venus is on Monday both at the anaretic degree of Virgo, semi-squaring Mars and Scorpio. But then she's also, in the latter part of Monday, she's going to move into 0 degrees of Libra. Venus is at home in Libra. She rules Libra. She's exalted is the wrong word, but the rubber can really hit the road for Venus in the sign of Libra. And Venus is going to be opposing Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries. So there's some culmination, there's some new beginnings, there's some sense of anything is possible, new horizons for what we can accomplish both individually and as well as in terms of balance and justice and harmony for the collective. And there's some challenges that are coming through with maybe when we take action, if we feel a little bit upset, to remember to pause. And Neptune in Aries is also, it's already retrograde. It's at the 1st degree of Aries, and it's really kind of inviting us to remember that, our Aries I am self is also, even though, we think we're separate from this illusion and delusion that's out there, we're also a part of it. And so this is inviting us to really come to a deeper understanding of who we are and how we are and why we are. And so it's less us versus them. It's more first us versus ourselves. And then it's also how can we take responsibility for everything that we want to create? How can we really not just seek to be the change, but be that vibration? And that's going to be part of that internal looking that we're going to be experiencing the latter part of this year. On Tuesday, we have a big event. Well, we have Mars in Scorpio, sesquiquadrate Neptune. And then we also have Mercury in Scorpio, sesquiquadrate Saturn. Those are some extra challenges, but we have the big aspect is Venus at 0 degrees Libra is trining both Uranus at 0 degrees of Gemini, which is already retrograde, and Pluto, which is at 1 degree of Aquarius. And so those trines are super duper high Nelly fortunate. Nellie wants to help me with the astrology forecast today, apparently. And what that's meaning is that even as we're kind of having been activated, having been touched, having know what displeases us and what gets under our skin and what we just don't want to see in our world, that causes us to really say, hey, this is what I value. This is what I want to create. And now we're going back inside to see what that's all about. Well, Uranus is we are the change. We are the technology. We are the high technology that we seek. Even in this whole world of AI, everything, we're the magic. Our consciousness is the magical thing that creates everything. And so Venus at 0 degrees Libra is really helping us to feel that anything is possible, as I was mentioning, these themes of justice and harmony and balance. It's almost like, we took a course on justice and harmony and balance, and then that was a year ago. We come back into the same classroom, and the instructor has got the entire chalkboard is completely blank, and we get to take what we already know, but also go through the material again and add a layer to it. So Tuesday is a really beautiful day for Venus trining both Uranus and Pluto, and that's a powerful aspect. That's going to be the highlight of this week, and that's going to carry, you know, that's going to carry for a couple days on either side of Tuesday. So it's really the theme for the week. Then we also have on Thursday, we have the Sun by quintile, the North Node, and the Sun is in Libra and the North Node is in Pisces. And so this is creative insights. But with the North Node in Pisces, as I mentioned, this eclipse season, that's all about where we've been collectively for lifetimes and lifetimes and eons. So it's not just that we live in the exalted technological age and today is the peak of human existence. This is about things our ancestors knew. This is about things that we just feel to be true, things that we're remembering. As we get to the end of this week, it's about this kind of natural, instinctual remembering of what we know to be true. So that starts to come through on Thursday. And then on Friday, we have Mercury and Mercury sesquiquadrate Neptune. And we also have the Sun by quintile Uranus, the Sun trining Jupiter, and the Sun opposing Chiron. So that's a big day on Friday. And, Mercury and Mars are having some aspects this week that are really reminding us that the day-to-day communications aren't always where it's at. And even though everything we say and do has power, that there's this internal state, and that's what I'm talking about, turning inward as we're in this. We're already everything's retrograde, but as we're preparing for Neptune next week to enter Aries, we're deep into retrograde season, and so there's this sense of it's not just a linear world where I want to go from point A to point B and there's only one way to get there. This is about the magic that's coming through on this planet. This is about the light that's coming through. This is about the codes that are being beamed down by all the outer planets to support human consciousness in waking up. And so this is the time. And I think one of the things that we can all feel, it is palpable. It's in our cells to seek better. It's in our cells to want to raise the vibration, our own and the collective. And so that is the gift of these times. And then finally we get to the 18th, October 18th, Saturday. We have Mars trining the North Node and Venus quintiling Jupiter. And this is really, I was talking about codes of light. One of the words that's coming through is this idea of harmonic expansion. So if we think about sacred geometry, if we think about numerology, if we think about those codes and the way everything is already kind of unfolding and interconnected, and we are an essential part and a powerful part of this, but we are not superior, but it's important for us to claim our role and to really to step into that. So there's this sense of natural remembering that's coming through with these aspects on Saturday. And like I was saying, it's almost like this past life type of a thing. I like to think of it as how it feels to me is sometimes my back comes out my front, where it just feels like the things that are coming to me and through me, I've known this information before. And I'm not unique. This is for everybody. So that's it for this week. Have a blessed, amazing, magical experience of getting deeper into retrograde season, and I really do believe it is upon us. And we're at the latter part of this lunar cycle. We're preparing for a new moon next week, so it's still about releasing, still about looking inward, and all these aspects, especially Tuesday with Venus trining Uranus and Pluto, is a really blessed time for us to remember who we are, why we came here, why our soul decided to be a human being incarnate in this planet at this particular moment in time. We're not helpless. There are no mistakes. And I hope that just helps you feel this beautiful harmonic, is what I'm feeling. There's this magic that's happening right now. All right, guys, bright blessings, tons of love.